You're watching Traders Morning Setups with Dex the Algo Capitalist. Dex created his pulse wave price trigger reports over 2 decades ago, and he's been using them to ride the pulse waves as a full-time trader ever since. Find out more about Dex's reports and sign up for our next webinar to learn how to use them at pulsewavetrading.com. Hey. Good morning, everybody. We're live. I'm waiting for Dex to join us.
You can't hear me? I'm here.
I hear you now, man. Hey, good morning.
Good morning, man. Technical issues.
Dude, it's funny. If we didn't have that new theme song, I wouldn't have even known the show was happening. I was doing something else, and I heard the theme song.
I know, isn't that funny?
Anyway,
yeah, we're running a tad bit late and a little confused, but I'm gonna get through it.
6 minutes late. We're great.
I'm gonna get through this. All right. Hold on.
Well, I'll tell you what. While you get ready, let me explain to people we're doing a little bit of a special episode this morning.
Okay.
Maybe some of you got an email with our big apology and our subject line that Dex had to fire all his staff. It actually really our meeting from last night. We're doing something very special this week, and then the special thing got messed up, and I'm so annoyed. But we're back today, and we're making it up to you. So this is what's happening. Let me share my screen really quick, Dex, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
You don't have to do anything. It's just going to work. Just didn't want to be rude. So, folks, this is Frank, by the way, Pulse Wave Trading, and our meeting last night got messed up. It didn't get recorded, and we know we've got a whole bunch of people excited about this usually very, very deep paywall experience that we're giving to you this week in the evenings. So as if you're listening right now live on YouTube or Rumble or Twitter or on the replay, Dex has his powerful pulse wave price trigger reports. And we recently upgraded not just the reports, but the whole experience of a Pulse Wave Pro membership. And so this week we've been kind of waving our arms, even at our own members who are used to just downloading reports and using them. And maybe they'll check in if they have a question, especially those who are sort of seasoned at it. But really, that's great. You could do that forever using the reports. The reports are totally something you could use on your own anyway. But what we've done is we've added a live trading component, a live experience component to every single trading morning and evening. And if you don't know Dex, you might not even understand trading in the evening and what that's about. Well, Dex's price trigger reports come out every day, and they are tradable. And you can place your orders at night. You can get ready for the markets for the next day if you choose to use them that way. But what we were doing is we were making those available to everybody via these webinar links, and it didn't work. So we're doing something special this morning. Usually on this show, Dex does some charts and 2-bar Charlies, and we're going to do that in just a minute. But we're also going to stay live and go over some of the content that he covered in last night's meeting, which got obliterated by the internet. And that won't happen again. We fixed it. We figured out what happened. So that's why I'm here and going on about this. But here's what we did. We added a morning bullpen, which is a private meeting for our pro subscribers. And we added an evening watch list orders where after the reports are published, Dex demonstrates the process of placing his own orders. He's literally doing what he does as a full-time professional trader. And if you have a pro membership, you get to be there for both of these meetings, or you could watch the replays later. So last night's special one that we promoted to everybody that was emailed out, which we don't usually do, that's the one that broke. They've been going off like without a flaw, but the one we sent to our whole list and everywhere broke. So we're doing this. We're going to recap some of that, and we're extending the special to Monday night. So Sunday, you'll be able to get an opportunity. Monday, you'll be able to get an opportunity. And tonight, you have an opportunity to join us for the watch list live orders when they're happening. And the only thing you have to do, if you're a pro member, you just come to the site and you click on it. If you're not a pro member, we're giving you an opportunity this week. You register for our Thursday watch list live, and you'll be in there in the live chat with us, and you'll be able to watch the replay on demand. Just got to give your email. And then we'll do it again Sunday, and we'll post a link for Monday. So that's my big apology tour, Dex. I'm sorry for what America did to all of you, and God bless I'm vote for me. So anyway, go to pulsewavetrading.com and you can get all of that right there. It's really, we made it simple. You don't even have to be any kind of free membership or anything. You just give your email and you'll be able to see these broadcasts tonight through Monday night. So tonight we have a watch list live orders. It's where Dex gets the report, places his orders, demonstrates the process. Then he's going to do it again on Sunday afternoon, which is one of the most important days for a pulse waiver. For other traders, they're just waiting for Monday. Sunday afternoon, we are ready. We're actually getting our orders ready to ride the pulse waves on Monday. So pulse wave trading is different, folks. Sunday afternoon, watch list orders live, and then we're gonna let you have the whole day on Monday. Monday morning bullpen, Monday morning watch list, Monday evening watch list orders live, and then Tuesday you're going to become a pro member at Pulse Wave Trading because you'll be addicted. And here's the thing that I haven't been saying, which is kind of like obvious, but not obvious to me and you, Dex, but not obvious to our listeners. The craziest part of this is this button right here. Do you see that button, Dex?
Yes, I do.
This is why the email said you fired all your staff. No, there's a different reason. But Dex's watch list report. As I've said, this is as deep past our paywall as you get, pretty much, at least at the moment. And it's right here. This is like I'm not logged in, or I am logged in, but it doesn't matter. So this is the watch list report. You can see it's pages of stuff Dex trades himself, and that's what's special about it. He's showing you what he trades. So you can access all of that at pulsewavetrading.com. You could also watch the Team Dex webinar. Some other stuff's going to be up there today. A lot of goodies. We want to provide you value every day of the week. And this show, by the way, Dex, and then I'll be quiet, I promise. This for the Traders Morning Setup, man, what an incredible value for anybody who's trading in the markets. And with that, I'm going to give it back to you. You go ahead and do your morning setups, and then we'll do some extra stuff about the orders and anything people want. And we're going to live stream the whole thing.
That's right.
Back to you, my man. Thanks, buddy.
All right, peoples. Thank you for that. All right, so we have a special one today. I'm gonna rehash what I did in last night's watch list report, and we're gonna combine it with what we normally do here in the mornings on the pre-market show. So let's jump right into it, shall we? All right, so give me just a second. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see what I'm talking about as I am doing it. All right, so starting with the US dollar, it's down 4 pips at 105.55. We got the euro up 1 pip at 107.20. Pound sterling down 11 pips at 122.75. We got the Aussie up 12 pips at 64.19. The big story is the Bitcoin futures up $1,940, trading at $37,835, and Ethereum futures up $49, trading at $1,960.50. Crude oil futures up 79 cents a barrel, make that 82 cents a barrel, trading at $76.15 a barrel. We have nat gas off 3 pennies at $3.07. Gold futures down $1.20 per ounce, trading at $1,956.60 per ounce. Silver up 2 pennies, trading at $22.75 per ounce. Copper at $3.64. Dow futures up 62 at 34,236. E-mini S&P 500 futures up 9.25 points at 4409.25. E-mini NASDAQ 100 up 19 points at 15,408 even. And the Russell futures up 9 at 1729.20. And the soybean futures up basically, make that unchanged at $13.65 per bushel. We have corn down 3 cents at $4.72 a bushel, and wheat down 7 at $5.85 per bushel. All right, now let's look at these 2-bar Charlie morning setups and see if we have any. So far, I see none, but I'm still scanning. We'll see as we go down our list here. And so far, nothing. Nope. Wait, hold on. Nope. That's almost, I was close, but no cigar. Let's see. Almost down to the bottom of the list. We're into the grains now. We had a few close ones this morning. Okay, so nothing this morning. Nope. Here we go. Wheat Wheat has a bearish two-bar Charlie setup. We expect an all-day down day and for the market to finish in the red. All right, now let's recap what you missed in last night's video. All right, so I'm going to start from the top and I'm just going to work my way down. All right. So the first chart we went over last night was XRP Ripple. You can see the bearish trend momentum reading. We had a crash alert coming into yesterday's trading. And then yesterday on the close gave us a negative bot check. So not only do we have a bearish trend momentum reading, which means we expect lower prices, but this negative bot check means that a huge down leg is coming in your XRP Ripple. All right, and the next chart we did was Zcash or ZEC, and I showed that this one has a bullish trend momentum reading, and the bear market rally is still trying to establish itself and get off the ground. So we're expecting higher prices as long as we maintain this bullish trend momentum reading. All right, let's see what else did we cover last night. Oh, the NASDAQ 100. All right, if you look here at the NASDAQ 100 futures, you're in a bull market with a bullish trend momentum reading. That's a locked in bull market. So we are expecting prices to continue to rally here. Looks like 16K is the next upside target for the E-mini NASDAQ 100 futures. As far as the Dow futures go, it crossed into that bear market back here, all right, and it's still been in one. And instead of getting a actual rally alert, we got the algo shift notice that the market had put in a temporary bottom. And as you can see, the market exploded higher. But now we're right here at the top of the Kumo cloud resistance, and you still have a bearish trend momentum reading. So without switching over to an actual bullish trend momentum reading, the question is, can the market push and elevate through the top of the Kumo cloud and get a few consecutive closes above it, thus switching from a bearish to a bullish sentiment? That's the question. It's like a do or die zone where you are now in that Dow. Next up, we looked at the nat gas. Now, you would think that colder temperatures would prevail, but you're still in a locked-in bear market. See, bear market with a bearish trend momentum reading, and we had the initial crash alert here, then we had another crash alert, and you keep getting downside production. So we expect this one to continue to decline in the near term here. Then we looked at the E-mini S&P 500 futures, and we noted that this market is neutralized only because it's in the algo Kumo cloud, which is not noticeable here on this chart. But we had a rally alert back here and it lifted the market. So had you been a subscriber to the reports, this would have been a tradable event from you all the way back when it was at the 4,100 level. So you would realize almost about 400 points of upside production, even in a neutralized environment. It just happens that way. So we expect this market, like the Dow, to try to work out. Now, this one hasn't gotten up to the bottom of the Kumo cloud just yet, but I'm sorry, top of the Kumo cloud, and that's around the 4450 level ish. So it still has a way to go to get there, but you are at a resistance point in both the S&P and the Dow. And as far as gold futures go, as you know, that's been in a bull market, but we had the crash alert that came here into play a few days ago, and we have a bearish trend momentum reading. And you can see we got a secondary crash alert here, and we got more downside production. So the market gave that initial downside production. Now it's trying to decide what it wants to do. Remember, gold has a historic problem staying above 2,000. Very hard to stay above 2,000. And it was also been very hard for it to stay above 1900. So we're going to see where it can go from here. So you're still in a bull market. You're still above the Kumo cloud, but you are in a corrective state officially. So we'll see if the market has enough power to defy that and relock in on the bullish narrative. As far as silver is concerned, Silver been crossed into the bear market way back here, and it gave you the bear market rally, then it started moving sideways. But something started to happen here just within the last several days of trading. And that is you started getting these bot checks. Now, the day before yesterday, we got a negative bot check indicating that a big down thrust is imminent. And yesterday gave us the beginning signs of that. All right. So that downside production is starting to come into play. And you can see the market is below the Kumo cloud in a free fall status. So it's one of those things where you know that there's going to be a lot of price pressure to push the price down below $22. I believe once the market does trade below $22, it's going to be a fast and furious drop below 20. All right. So we discussed that in last night's video. Also, as far as crude oil is concerned, we officially started the beginning of a possible bear market. All right, our bar turned from blue to orange. That's a bear market scenario, which means we could be looking at the top of the bear market now in the crude oil market. So, something to take into consideration. You're in a locked in position here, major market correction off these old highs, and you're in a bearish trend momentum reading. So, that means that you are looking rather pathetic. All right. As far as the euro is concerned, the euro here crossed over into a bear market back here, and we had multiple negative bot checks, which means that a really big down leg is coming, a bar reminiscent of this one back here. It's coming. All right. So you got to keep that in mind when you get these bot checks. Now, how do we know this? Well, if you take a look at the historical precedents for this and compare that to the US dollar, you'll get an idea. The US dollar gave us a positive bot check a few sessions ago, which hasn't materialized yet. So we know a big updraft is coming in the dollar. It's not done rallying yet. You're in a locked in bull market with a bullish trend momentum reading. So every dip or pullback is going to be bid in the US dollar until it isn't. All right. So the Russell has been the weakest of the indices, and it's in a bear market. It crossed it back here. And it actually gave you that rally alert, letting you know that a short-term bottom was in place, and then it moved up. Unlike the S&P, you didn't get the rally alert. You just got the algo shift. So usually when an algo shift happens, once it's exhausted, the market moves in the opposite direction. So here we are, market bounce, and then we got the negative algo shift here in your Russell, and the market did move down a bit. All right. Now, once this is done, then we know another up leg will come in your Russell, which means it'll start playing catch up with the rest of the stock indices. We have historical precedents. So last algo shift, which was a bullish one, ended with a top out and then a huge sell off. Same thing here. Topped out, huge sell off. Opposite here. Negative algo shift ended with a breakout rally. Bullish algo shift ended with another sell off. So you can pretty much set your watch by these scenarios, folks. All right. It's just what it is. So at the first sign of an algo shift, that's when you would take profit in your shorts and await the next entry to get short again, which you got here with the crash alert, and then boom, all that downside production. So there is a method to the madness. That's why I always say the system works if you work the system. Now, our proxy for the US stock indices, let me just correct something here on the chart real quick, and I'll show you what the signs are that the US stock market might be getting ready to enter a new bullish phase. All right. So, for those that have been following me for any length of time, you know that I have taught you, one of the things I've taught you is that the euro yen is a proxy for the US stock market. It generally leads and predicts and prophesies the direction of the stock market. And you can see this is in a locked in bull market with a bullish trend momentum reading, hitting new highs almost on a daily. What does that mean? It means you're locked and loaded, folks. All right. So this is letting us know that the US stock indices want to power up and get awesome. All right. Now, give me just a second. Frank, are you still here? If you are, I gotta
Hey, man.
take over for a minute for me, and I'll be right back in like 2 seconds.
Oh, you got it, man. I'm even look at this. I'm even gonna make people listen to the. So anyway, everybody, while Dex is doing that, notes because I'm so excited. I was just texting Dex in the background. I was like, dude, I love listening to you talk about markets because it's what he does, what he's great at. All right, I'm gonna turn the music off. I'm just messing around. And I've been passionate about this from the beginning, working with him. That I just want as many people to benefit from his materials as possible. And that's one of the reasons that I've been over the top excited about what we're doing now, because it's rough to go through tutorials, grab a few numbers and put them in. A lot of us, our brains don't work that way. But if you show us a few times, if you're there so that I could do something dangerous and look over my shoulder and see someone who knows how to get me out of it, or at least talk me out of it, it's a wonderful thing to have. You know, one of the things I've learned in life is that it's the people you hang out with, it's the mentors. It's not just the people you're around really change the way you think. They change the way you approach things. They give you a certain kind of perspective.
And I'm back.
So, hey, you're back. Well, let me finish my speech. So being around people who have confidence in navigating things like this that are so complicated, it's extremely valuable thing in every aspect of life, and the markets just as well. Okay, I'm out.
All right. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Okay, so you asked about NAC. All right, so here's your NAC chart. Ticker is NAK. And you can see that this market is in a locked-in bull market too. At least it was until you got this bearish trend momentum reading, followed by a crash alert way back here the week of October the 27th. The market did give you downside production. Then it got a little technical bounce, gave you another crash alert, but we haven't received any downside production yet. But price action is below the Kumo cloud, and you have the bullish algo shift, which means that you may have temporarily put in a little short-term support or bottom. So this is very interesting to see which one is going to play out. Will the crash alert play out within the next 3 to 5 days, or will the algo shift continue to push the market back above the Kumo cloud? That's where the reports come into play, because reports will tell you and show you exactly how and what to do and how to handle this. All right. So that's what's up on your NAC for right now. Still in a bull market, and it's trying to rally after this huge correction, trying to bottom itself out and rally. But right now, you're operating within the consolidation bar right here from the week of October the 10th. And price action is just staying within it right now. Did you know that JP Morgan is now the custodian for the Cones Gold ETF? They picked it up around the change to SO. Nope, didn't know that. I did not know that at all. But JP Morgan has been in the news lately, along with Bank of America and some other places, giving dire warnings about the markets, and well, primarily about the economy. So we'll see what happens with that. It's still too early, too soon to tell what's really gonna go on. Look, as far as COMEX, man, they've been talking about COMEX, man, for decades. And really, it's, to me, anytime anyone's talking about the COMEX and all that, it's clickbait. All right, it's clickbait, it's fear porn, and all that other stuff. Um, and the reason why I say that is because they don't understand the way the exchanges are structured. All right. Now, I will admit, up to a certain point, actually, technically, until the year 2020, the futures markets had a pretty stellar track record as far as being, very vanilla, very above board, having things done in the right way, unlike the equity market. But when John Corzine came in and did what he did with that $1 billion fiasco, and then in 2020 when they took crude oil futures to negative $100 a barrel, well, that kind of gave the futures industry, a black eye. So now I can no longer say what will never happen because fraud and corruption has been allowed to fester. So if this was, even 20 years ago, I would have told you no way in the world anything like that could ever happen because of the checks and balances and because the CFTC and the NFA and the SEC. And, I would have had this long spiel for you, but that's no longer the case. Commodity futures industry used to brag that within the past 50 years, starting back in the 1990s, it would say, for the past 50 years, no one has ever lost a dime that was owed them or due them in the futures markets, unlike any other market, which was true up until MF Global and John Corzine, and of course, the crude oil futures debacle of 2020. So, barring those two incidents, everything was slick. It was perfect. So not anymore. Okay. Not anymore. It's on a whole nother level. Whole nother level. Now, with that being said, when we talk about, the Comex peddlers of fear pornography, I can no longer say that they're nuts and don't know what they're talking about because they make a good case as far as the past performance not being indicative of future results, except for in fraud cases. You can pretty much set your watch to it. So now all the things that they've been saying for the past decades could actually happen and come to pass because of fraud and corruption. If you remove fraud and corruption from the equation, however, then we have a different take. Let me explain. So you've been hearing people say, "Oh, the Comex is going to blow up. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's fraud. It's this. It's that." That's not true. And let me explain. When it comes to commodity futures contracts, there are different types of commodity futures contracts. They move different. They have different price points, X amount price per tick, things like that. Some of them trade at various contract months, others don't. Like crude oil futures is one of the ones that trade just about every month. They have a contract for just about every month of the year, while your S&P 500, Dow, Nasdaq, and Russell only have 4 contract months per calendar year to coincide with the 4 quarters of the business cycle. So it's different. Also, you have different types of commodity products now, even new types that did not exist even in the 1990s. You have now e-minis, you got micro contracts, and you had this back then too, but a little bit more specialized now, is that you have futures contracts that settle for cash only. All right. You cannot take possession of the physicals, either because there's no physicals to take possession of, or that's just how they did the contract. I'm gonna give you a couple examples. Okay. So if I am long the E-mini S&P 500 futures contract, and I decide I'm going to go on vacation, or I'm just going to not watch TV on my computer for a while, I'm going to go and hibernate in the mountains somewhere, and the last trading day rolls around, and then the final trading day rolls around, And because you in futures you got like your first notice day, and then you got your last trade day before they roll over to the next contract month, and then there's a last day that you most certainly must be out of the market. But when you're talking about the E-mini S&P 500, that futures contract is settled in cash. So even if you do nothing, your broker will take you out, close out the trade, and give you the cash difference. If you're up on the trade, you'll get that plus added to your account. If you're down in the trade, then you'll get that subtracted from your account. But it's settled in cash. So even if you do nothing, it will be settled in cash. You don't have to do anything. Just buy it and hold it, and that's it, or short it and hold it, and that's it. However, when it comes to something like soybeans, well, obviously, if I'm long, however many contract bushels of soybeans, well, unless I want, 5,000 bushels of soybeans dumped at my front door, I need to be out of the trade. All right. Because that contract will settle not in cash, but in product, which is the soybeans. And you have several futures contracts like that. But what the industry started doing is it started making like these micro contracts, e-mini type contracts, where these contracts, instead of settling in physical, they actually settle in cash like the S&P 500. So there's no physical for you to take possession of. Gold futures comes to mind. There are your little mini gold futures contracts, things like that, that do not settle in cash. They settle, I'm sorry, do not settle in the physical, they settle in cash. All right. That's the first thing. The second thing is that um, in your precious metals, which is the perfect example, that have these cash contracts that sell in cash, there's nothing to worry about. You're not going to get, 10,000 ounces of gold bullion delivered to your front door. It doesn't work like that. All right. It's settled in cash. So if you do nothing and do not get out of your and unwind your futures position in these precious metal contracts that settle in cash, your broker will just cash you out and settle you in cash at the end of that contract expiration. All right. Now, here's where things get a little bit more complicated. Now, you can take physical delivery. You can open up a futures account and take physical delivery of your contracts that you trade. But what most people don't realize is that this has to be set up in advance. When you open your account, it has to be opened up as a hedging account, so that you can take physical possession of your futures contracts. If you do not have a hedging account and you do not get out of your contracts when they expire, we're talking about the ones that settle for physicals, your broker is just going to cash you out anyway, because you have to have the money in your account to cover the full cost of the futures contract, plus taxes and insurance and all that stuff, storage fees, because you're charged storage fees because your physicals have to be stored somewhere. So the storehouse wants to be paid for storing your commodities for you. And then you got to cover the cost of the transport and delivery. All these miscellaneous fees have to be paid, and they have to be paid in cash. All right. So hedging accounts will set that up in advance, letting your broker know that I am a hedger, which means that I want to take physical delivery of my trades. Famous case in point was Gerald Salente. He told you back with the MF Global thing, he explained his situation to you, because he said he would trade futures, he would buy gold futures and take physical delivery of his futures. All right. So he wasn't settled in cash. He was settled, he wanted his physicals. I'll let him tell his story. I think his videos are still up here on YouTube from the MF Global fiasco. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to get his delivery. They was like, we're gonna give you the cash for it. He was like, I don't want the cash, I want my physicals. And it was a whole big thing to do with that. But that's how that works. So when people say, well, look at how much, there's only, let's say, X amount of gold in the ground or in the world, whatever, but the futures contracts are trading at 100 times their available physical gold, you got to take into account those that are seeking to take physical, and those that are actually going to be cashed out in cash. So unless the those contracts are for the physical, meaning hedging accounts, that information is irrelevant. It doesn't matter if we only had 10,000 ounces of gold left in the ground in the whole world, but on the futures exchange, a billion contracts just traded. Doesn't matter because there's only 10,000 ounces in the ground. So unless you are a hedging account and you are trading to take physicals, it doesn't matter. The 99% of all futures trading is retail spec, not hedging. All right? Not hedging. Unless you're Exxon Mobil or, one of these grain producers like General Mills or something, you are not taking delivery of anything. You're just trying to make money on the price fluctuations. But a producer or manufacturer of commodities, they need the raw material. So when they get in there, they're hedging and they're saying, we need to take delivery. We need this corn delivered ASAP, or we need these barrels of oil delivered ASAP. So that's why it does not matter. All right. It does not matter. All right. What paper markets do, it is irrelevant. Paper markets settle in paper, not physical. Have I made myself clear? I have been explaining this on YouTube forever, but I seem like I always have to come in and re-explain because new people come along and they listen to these commentaries about the COMEX are going to go belly up, and they talk about the evils of the paper market, but they don't understand something, a very fundamental truth of economics and commerce, and that is that retail speculators, which are the most hated group on the planet in politics anyway, when it suits their purposes and their agenda. Without retail specs, there's no liquidity in the market, any market. I don't care if it's Forex. I don't care if it's crypto. I don't care if it's precious metals. I don't care if it's Exxon Mobil stock or Amazon. Without retail speculators, there is no liquidity. And your financial security products are nothing more than physical real estate, which is illiquid. Is that what you want? Do you want all retail specs to just disappear or not have access to the market? Then what you're asking for is no liquidity in your market. So if something bad happens and you're holding whatever security it is, but you've kicked out all the retail specs, number one, you're not going to have any price discovery. And number two, if something goes wrong, you won't be able to get out of the market and you will get your face completely ripped off. You will be decapitated. Face rippage, scalping, and decapitation all at once, all at the same time. You don't want that. You don't want that. And then you have other people that tell you, well, investing and trading is a zero-sum game. And that is also a lie. The zero-sum game comes from the casinos. That's casino gambling language. Where it is an exact zero-sum game because it's you versus the house. And if you sit there long enough, it's designed so that the house always wins. Trading and investing is not like that at all. It can be approached with a gambler's mentality, but it's not a casino. And always think of it this way. In the futures markets, anyway, Forex futures, there's a buyer for every seller and vice versa. But the difference is you don't know why someone's selling and you don't know why someone's buying. You think you just did something perfect because you bought Bitcoin. Let's say Bitcoin, God forbid, were to crash all the way to $5 right now, right? And you see that, and you're salivating, and you go in there and you max out and mortgage your house, sell everything you own to buy all that you can buy of that $5 Bitcoin, right? And you're like, yes. And then let's say an hour later, Bitcoin goes to $1 million a coin. And you're like, yes, I'm a genius. I'm all that. I'm brilliant, right? and you're laughing, ah, sucker, you sold it to me for $5, you sucker, ah, ha, ha, you lost, I took all your money, you sucker, right? But here's what you don't know. The person that sold you the Bitcoin at $5, they did the same thing you did in reverse. They sold everything they had, mortgaged their house when Bitcoin hit 68,000. And they have been short Bitcoin from 68,000. And when it hit $5, they took profit. So you both won. The shorter won because he rolled it from 68,000 to $5, and you won because you bought it at $5, and now you cashed out at $1 million. See why investing/trading is not a zero-sum game? You're looking at it all wrong, ladies and gentlemen. You think that the seller is losing because they sold to you, and then the market goes up and you cash out and you're the winner. No, you both won. They shorted from a higher price, bought it back at a lower price. You bought at a low price, sold it out at a higher price. You both win. Investing and trading is not a zero-sum game. That language belongs in the casinos, not in the markets. I hope you understand that scenario that I just explained to you, because trading, investing is not a zero-sum game, but anything in life can be approached with a gambler's mentality. All right. But it's not a zero-sum game. That's what they get you to believe. These gold and silver people, they get you to believe that because they want you to buy their physicals. They're selling you their physicals. They make money selling you physicals. So you stackers out there, understand that. Anyone selling you gold and silver is because they are looking to make money. And they don't make money unless you buy it from them. All right. So those are just facts. All right. Yes, the markets are extraordinarily difficult. That's why you got to have experience and have a viable track record of winning consistently, like we have been doing on YouTube since over a decade ago. All right. All of my videos are still up on the channel. I have not deleted or taken down anything, win, lose, or draw. All of my market calls are on here. All my trades and stuff are on here. You can see for yourself. So I hope I've explained the whole COMEX conspiracy theory and debunked it thoroughly for you enough for your liking. And we've just debunked that trading investing is a zero-sum game, which it is not. All right. So you understand that from its basic inception. All right. So we're off that now. All right. And let's get back to the reports now. So we've done our charts. The charts are done. So let me close that out. And then we're going to look at last night's report. We're going to look at DEX's watch list. All right. So you can see how the reports will correspond with the charting analysis portion. All right. So on DEX's watch list, if you go to your dashboard, log in, go to postwavetrading.com, go to the dashboard, log in, you'll see this. So for example, let's look at the Bitcoin one. All right. So for example, last night, the report went out, and I showed you in the video portion of the chart segment how the market was bullish and was going to rally. So here's the buy stop given for the Bitcoin last night for the continuation pattern, and that is 36,658. All right. Once again, 36,658 was the buy stop. All right, for last night. Now you come over here and let's see if I can find it. Not there. Ah, here we go. All right, let me pull this up. I will. Actually, I don't have to do that at all. Let me pull up my watch list here. Okay, we're going to type in the BTC. Whoops. All right. All right, so I'm going to switch my screen with you now. We're going to the dashboard. All right. Okay. So when you go to post-weight trading, you type in Dex's watch list. This comes up. You can download the Excel spreadsheet, or you can come over here to the right-hand side and type in the ticker symbols, and it'll come up. So for the micro Bitcoin futures, the ticker is MBT. And you can see here the buy stop, which corresponds to what I just showed you from last night's report, 36,659, right? And then here's your sell stop here. And you can see that right now, as we speak, Bitcoin futures just hit $38,380. All right. That's a long way away from 36,000, is it not? I've been telling you that the next upside target is 40,000 for Bitcoin. We'll see how it's getting there. It's getting close. Hasn't got there yet, but it's getting close. That's the power of these reports. These reports come out ahead of the market. So before the market even moves in a direction, the reports come out letting you know what's going to happen, okay, ahead of time. All right, so here it is, ahead of time. You type in the MBT, and this would have came up, and you would have saw it. All right, so once again, these reports come out ahead of the market moves, always. All right. So had you gotten your report last night, you could have logged in and saw the entry price, and then you'll look at Bitcoin right now as we speak. It's at $38,195. That's a far cry from 36,000. All right, so that's almost a 2,000 point run just from last night's entry alone, which came out long before the market even started to move higher. That's the power of the post waves. That's what we do. And that's how we run it every day, every time, so that you can be on the right side of the market. All right, so we've redone the chart segment. Does anyone have any questions on anything that we have covered so far this morning? All right, so if you go to postwaytrading.com, that's where you log in to your dashboard, go to Dex's watch list, and you'll see it. All right. And Frank also showed you earlier where you can go directly to it just from the main web page. All right, so if that's it, I'm going to go ahead now, and we're going to start getting ready for the Thinking Outside the Box podcast for later today. You don't want to miss that, because we have been really breaking down what's been going on with the banking crisis and what's going on with the central banks, and just covering a lot of different things. So you definitely want to follow the Thinking Outside the Box podcast only on Rumble, because Rumble is the only place that will allow us to talk the way we need to talk and say what we need to say. All right, folks. So until 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard New York time today, I will see you guys there. And don't forget that the system works if you work the system. Bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And on that note, I'm out. Smash that like button, register, and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and share this content with friends and family. You never know who it may help, encourage, or inform. And with that, I'm out. Peace.